Hello everyone and welcome to the ELO Hell GGNA Season 10 Peachis Iced Tea versus Regen NA Academy. My name is Sam Talks and I am joined by my good friend here, Behemoth. Behemoth, are you ready for tonight?
Absolutely. It's been a long day and I've been thinking about this match all day because work was absolute hell to say the least, so I'm ready to get ready. Let's bring the violence.
Yeah, well, we're in hell. We're in ELO Hell now. We saw last week the Peachis Iced Tea had their first sort of skirmish against the University of Hawaii last weekend. They got battered and bruised, but they're here for another round, another chance to prove themselves out here on the field. Let's go ahead and switch on over. Take a look at the good team right here for the Peachis Iced Tea. We have Iggy, PK'd, St. JJ, Ronan Lay, and Lobster, and I see a little cat.
Indeed. Aww.
And now we're gonna go take a look at Regen NA Academy for our DPS line. We have Flex Offender and Ryfrog. For our tanks, we have Overkill and Dimitri. And of course, can't have tanks or DPS without supports to keep them alive, Saint TX and Flores. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at our starting map. And this is going to be interesting. We're starting off here with Busan, Behemoth.
Yeah, I'm an old fogey by sort of trade, so Busan I don't have near as much experience with as a player, but definitely it brings interesting challenges, especially the raising and lowering of the gates on the point in one of the three maps. As a Zenyatta player, it's always very terrifying trying to approach the point without being booped off of multiple locations within these maps.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you have the other two, especially downtown, where the large sight lines allow heroes such as Widowmaker or even Ashe to shine through. And if you have the hit scan capabilities to click those heads, it can be decimating. And then, of course, Sanctuary ball compositions. Yeah, that's more than likely what we're going to be seeing tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's these kind of things as we are going into the map. We're going to be seeing our two teams composition-wise, what we're going to be rolling up against. And of course, depending on where we're going to be, whichever one of these three maps it is obviously going to be a big determinant factor on what we're going to see. But the Peachis Iced Tea, like I said last week, Behemoth, it was their first showing. It was, in my opinion, explosive. I think they've had one game in between now and then. So this is the third one. They're starting to get that cohesion built up together. And we're gonna step into the gameplay now. Look at our composition wise.
Now, I know for a fact we always have the Symmetra debate. We always have to get debated. We always have to comment. They might be going with the Symmetra here with Iggy. And then, of course, they always have the last second switch. Classic tradition.
Classic tradition, last second one. They're still on it?
Hmm.
So they are wanting to stick with the Symmetra to get back to get onto the point as fast as they possibly can. And seeing that right there for them, it looks like that it is going to happen. Peachis Iced Tea are going to be there first. And we're already breaking onto small skirmishes right now.
They're just introducing each other right now until the point unlocks.
A cheeky little hack from PK onto Dimitri. Not gonna get too much out of that, but Iggy is looking for delicious targets. And that is going to be two with Lobster supporting that right there. You can't ask for more than that as the Peachis Ice Tea are gonna be making their way onto the point. We do have the D-Mech onto Dimitri, and it's a clean engage here. That was a very good first couple of picks. And then after that, the Academy, the Regen just couldn't handle it.
Absolutely. Those quick tracer picks just opened up everything for them just to settle down on the point and to start getting this this objective timer start ticking upward in their favor.
And we already have another huge elimination. Flores couldn't handle the PK'd power of this Sombra. And now Regen, they've lost 50% of their healing, over 50% of their healing, only having to be able to rely on Saint TX as they're gonna try and attempt to flip the point over, but of course the contest is coming out from Peachis. I see Iggy going straight up into that back line, but Flores says, you gotta watch out for me. I may be Zenyatta, but I am deadly when ready. PK gets the revenge though.
And definitely the support ultimate's coming out right now with Mimikyu with the rally. And there's definitely a transcendence in the making, so that way when this engagement actually is Iggy just putting in the work on the tracer. So far the MVP definitely, but there's still a whole lot more match to be played.
The damage that are coming out from Iggy and PK especially have just been, cannot be understated. Lobster commits the Transcendence, PK'd EMPs, finds 3, but unfortunately goes down for themselves. And Benevolence and Flores are doing so much work here against the Peachis Iced Tea, and they can't hold up against that. You saw Iggy try to do whatever they could, but it just wasn't enough. Frog, especially on that Echo, really doesn't have any answer to them from the Peachis Iced Tea, and we saw it there. They committed ultimates, but nothing really came of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a valiant effort. Of course, we're going to trade points here, and the Peachis Iced Tea aren't really looking for any good ultimates right now, but the GGNA Academy is definitely locked and loaded, so this is going to be quite the uphill charge.
Yeah, I mean, 3 ultimates, Frog duplicating the Tracer as, on top of that, a sticky Pulse Bomb goes out, but it's going to be eaten by Ronan's defense matrix. Still though, look at that, 2 picks on the board and a nice stick, clean, D-Mex Ronan out of there. And that is the actions that you want to see. Frog back down on the ground, focus beams on a Mimikyu. Peachis I see they're struggling against what GGNA Academy are throwing at them. They still have time though. 75% is going to be on the board.
Absolutely, plenty of time, and they've been able to generate ultimates. GGNA doing a good job of disciplining themselves and definitely holding on to the ultimates, because that's the big game in Overwatch, is who has ultimates and when are they going to use them.
Yeah, Regen though, 3 ultimates, and the Peachis I see they're working towards 2 now that they have, and Iggy and PK are obviously getting theirs. Mimikyu's pops a rally. The IC are going to engage in off of that, along with the mines from Overkill though, but it's just collapsing in on them. They can't hold on to this point. The damage is just so monumental and so powerful. A whip shot, environmental kill onto St. JJ. That's unfortunate. PK tries to do something there. The EMP finds 4, no follow-up. Flores pops to Transcendence to keep them safe. Overtime ends, and the Peachis Iced Tea, 55%. But the GGNA Academy, of course, are gonna take this first round.
Yeah, and the big key there was Mimikyu was doing the rally, and regardless of how strong the rally could be, it's no match for self-destruct, and that really just absolutely dismantled that push there. And after that, it was just kind of like a punch to the gut to just say, and no recovering from there.
Yeah, no recovering.
Deal.
The Ice Tea, they had such a strong start, but once it started getting towards the end, they lost kind of the momentum, and especially with the Echo switch off of the Regen Academy, they had no answer. The Echo was basically just allowed to fly free in the air and rain down hell from above, and we saw that and just how deadly it was.
Absolutely. And of course, on this map here, I'm expecting to see more ball from both ends, but it looks like Peachis IC is going to prompt for more conventional style as opposed to the Regen NA Academy.
Yeah, a little bit more poke coming from Iggy, maybe even an attempt to answer an echo that doesn't exist quite yet. But on the flip side too, they are going to have a lot of resistances there as Overkill just literally rolled right in, tries to dislodge the Ice-T from the high ground, unsuccessful. But a little bit of a disruption in the backline is never a bad thing. We can see the IC though. Look at that speed. Thanks to Mimikyu, they roll right in, try to push the NA Academy. Unfortunately, however, Ronin is going to be demeched, but fortunately, 3 kills on the board right away. This is huge for the Peachis Ice-T. As the point opens up, they can just walk on, get it. And look at Iggy, no fear in their heart. Literally goes right on Dimitri. They use the kinetic grasp, but it's too little too late. Not able to quite seal the deal though. Dimitri turns it around. What was that?
Yeah, the guy burned a little bit. You touch the stove too many times and it still burns at the exact same time, and now there's definitely going to be some scarring. A strange thing from there is the overkill on the overkill on ball got off the point and didn't get it captured to tick it up, so it definitely might come back to haunt them here.
Yeah, every percentage point matters, and every player matters. Look at that tactical visor from Ryfrog Benevolence. One too many blinks though, and figures out that gravity is still an incredibly powerful force here, even in the Overwatch universe. But can we talk about that Ryfrog triple kill tactical visor? Allows Regen NA Academy to flip the point back over for themselves.
No, yeah, definitely. And you can absolutely hear Benevolent screaming, "I regret nothing," as they fall to their death.
They were able to find Iggy. That Discord orb did so much to help Benevolence secure that kill, but Iggy, they're now angry. They've had 2 encounters now where they've gone down, and the support line for NA Academy is completely gone, and the rest are going to be following suit. We see that with Ryfrog and Dimitri, and Iggy is finally using that 6-piece to some effective use right there. And look at that overkill. Oh, so close with the wall off, but they're able to get out of there almost immediately, and I think they left Iggy in a... They trapped Iggy in that room for a second.
Yeah, definitely. Iggy was doing work, booking the heads and making the heads drop face first. And now the Peachis IC have control of this point, and they're going to look to tick up this percentage a little bit, while Ryfrog gets a little bit of damage tick on the shield.
Oh, there it is, the Blizzard, but Transcendence is going to keep Regen NA Academy safe. I will tell you what's not going to keep Ryfrog safe, though, is a giant angry German man pinning you to the wall and then swinging their hammer shortly thereafter eliminates the rest of the Regen NA Academy. However, they're still working with 2 ultimates. They have the Gravitic Flux and they can engage in on the rally. And the only thing that Peachis IC really has at this point is the amplification matrix. Mimikyu doesn't have the beat to keep them safe and keep that sustain going.
Yeah, absolutely. I expect the Peachies to give some space here. Definitely.
Oh, but the immortality field, beautifully placed. That is going to be huge, and that allows Iggy to find Overkill out thanks to a nice flashbang. The ulti, oh, they had the Deadeye, but Benevolence takes advantage of that, throws the Pulse Bomb, eliminates Iggy off the field, and you no longer have to worry about that, and that is a huge DPS loss with the Peachis IC. Ryfrog finds Lobster all alone. They don't have the immortality field to keep them safe, and they understand that as the rally was committed from Regen NA Academy. Ryfrog pops that tactical visor, gets PK, but Ronin self-destructs. You weren't paying attention to that. You only had eliminations on your mind, and that is going to be deadly. Iggy comes back, the reinforcements, and look at that, 2 on the board right away. An immortality field is going to keep saying JJ in the fight for just a bit longer. The Iggy versus Dimitri fight ends in an unfortunate occurrence there. And right now, somehow, against all odds, Regen NA Academy are actually getting the picks on the board. And the Peachis IC, they are falling in short order.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting choice of fighting on the side there as opposed to fighting on the point. Ryfrog with the tactical visor, I definitely think that could have been used better on the point during the engagement. But nonetheless, there will always be another ultimate. And we'll see if Iggy continues to hold his own here. Benevolence will definitely be looking to spoil that right here.
Yeah, Benevolence, they're waiting. The distraction, the immortality field is gone. They wanted, the Blizzard is out though, so they can't engage just yet. And Saint TX is gonna be the first casualty of this team fight. And Iggy already gone. That is gonna hurt so bad. but not too bad. The Regen NA Academy just took way more damage than the Peachis Ice Tea did. The point is going to be flipped. And the only one who's going to be able to hold onto this overtime is Flores, but they're not allowing him to get on point. And the Peachis Ice Tea actually managed to secure this and bring us into the final round of Busan.
That was almost like one of those cartoons where like there's all kinds of chaos around them, and the cartoon characters all shriveled up like this, and you see all the walls just come down around them, and they're scot free. They're fine.
They run
just
out
like that.
It worked out so well for them. That blizzard right there at the end for the final team fight. Benevolence was waiting for the right moment to use that pulse bomb, but it was just too little too late as the blizzard comes out. And Regen NA Academy really didn't have any answer to that. And so the Peachis IC, they just go right in. Sure, you lost Iggy, you're one of your high DPS dealers, but it didn't seem like it mattered too much if St. JJ was just allowed to swing that hammer.
Absolutely, and much to Steve Carell's credit and the comedy movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, it is true, if you do not use it, you lose it. And that was the case of that ultimate there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see just right off the bat, St. JJ Pile Drivers, look how low he is right there. He couldn't handle all of the massive damage that was coming their way. And after that, it was just rolling right on in. Benevolence is the terror as Tracer right now, rolling around, and Ronan wants to back out. They can't do it. Benevolence hunts him down, and the Regen NA Academy wins this first team fight, takes the point, and they're going to feel pretty good about that.
And at long last, as your prediction stated, we're definitely going to see a lot of ball action. We now finally have a one ball against another ball, and we'll see who will prevail here. I'm definitely interested in Iggy's choice on Ashe here. We'll see how much damage they can do. Certainly did a lot of damage as McCree. I'm expecting great things.
Yeah, that little bit of extra sightlines, longer sightlines might benefit the Ashe here more, but you're gonna have to be careful because you have Benevolence, who has proven so far as Tracer to not be benevolent. And then on top of that, you also have Overkill on the bomb. The pulse goes out, by the way, but it doesn't find anything. A lot of damage, but Mimikyu and Lobster are going to be able to heal right through that. St. JJ finds a lone Echo down on the ground. You don't see that very often. They want to take as much advantage of that as they possibly can. Rolls around, tries to find them out, but instead, the only person who's going to be found out is St. JJ with an accretion to the face. Iggy putting in the work. That straight off here gets Ryfrog, and it's back and forth against these two teams.
Yeah, it's more so of both teams are doing a really good job of formations. Oh, we have an alternate by Sigma here.
Doesn't get anybody though. Yeah. That was a bit of a wasted ult from Dimitri, but still, even then, Flores and Benevolence are showing up right now. The Transcendence from Flores just to secure and really make sure that everything's gonna be safe. And look at that right there, Mimikyu keeping Ronan alive for just a second longer with the bash, but it was just for a second longer. And an interesting stick here is going to cost Benevolence. Look how low Ronan is though. We can't. The shields are going to come back, but can't really get too much back out of there. And oh, PK'd, you were so close.
I definitely thought that Benevolence ultimate was there, tried to use the ultimate and then switch off the character, but it looks like they're going to continue on Tracer here.
Yeah, the Tracer has been so dominant, so oppressive against the two. Speaking of oppressive, mines are out on the payload. The Peachis IC, they got a touch because we're in overtime and they don't even have a single % on the board. Regen NA Academy's defense has been so immaculate and so powerful that the Peachis IC just haven't been able to find the answer to it. And in fact, Iggy is trying to work around that. Finally, the point flips over for the Peachis IC, but the team fight is still breaking out as the two teams are scrapping it to try and get whatever they can. And points are out on the board, but the IC, they are collapsing. The Regen NA Academy are picking it up. Look at that. The kill feed is lit up and is all going in favor of Regen NA Academy. They flip it back over, go into overtime. It ticks back down. No one from the Peachis IC can touch this. And Busan, first map goes to Regen NA Academy.
I thought for certain in the beginning of that map, during the first few engagements, that both teams were doing a good job of positioning and keeping their formation. And it wasn't until you finally got those key picks, because the healers were in a good, decent position behind the lines, and DPS and tanks were interchanging with each other, just kind of trading kind of like garbage damage. So, but once it finally unraveled, then it became clear that Regen NA was just dominating anywhere on the objective. That was their domain.
Yep, it was back and forth for the first map. Same with the second map, but then on the third map, Regen NA said, "Warm-up's over.
Hmm.
We need to go in and we need to start taking. We need to start winning and we need to start showing up." The Peachis Iced Tea, they had a really good first round. They had a good first round and a really, really good second round. It was just that third round. They couldn't figure out the answer, I think, really to the ball, because the ball was all over the place. And the Benevolence was able to take advantage of that, going into the back line, taking out your major DPS players, and just harassing the entire time and putting
Hmm.
out so much damage because of that. It was just too much for the PG's IC to handle.
Absolutely, and there wasn't. It didn't feel like the frags were just weren't coming for Peaches in that instance. So it definitely came down to flanking and all that sort of stuff right there with trying to get the upper hand. And I've been told our next map is going to be my favorite map, the ultimate map where boys become men, which is going to be King's Row.
Yeah, a little bit of scrims row, am I right? This
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
this is the map of literal, it's in the name, Kings,
Hmm.
the place where you find out, okay, this is where everyone operates at their best. This is
Hmm.
where we need to be. And of course, this is going to be the Peachy's choice. They are going to choose this map. They feel the most comfortable. And they've proven that this is a really good map for them here. Regen and Academy have this momentum going, and we've seen just how oppressive and dominant their DPS can be. So the Peachy's Iced Tea, they have an idea of what they want to do, and the answers need to start formulating now.
Yeah, and with maps like this, especially any hybrid map in general, but especially this map being Kings Row on the first point, you almost feel like it's absolutely necessary to win your first engagement and to march on to the point because there's so much momentum that's needed to get that cart through the streets of Kings Row. It, of course, it's not impossible to do another engagement to get onto the point and capture the point, but it's this map has been ingrained into our brain so many times that you just feel like this is all or nothing, even though it's not.
So the Peachy's Iced Tea, they're going for a combination that we've seen before, especially on Busan. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work out for them. But what has me even more interested is the defense for Regen Academy. That's a ball right there.
Hmm. Absolutely, and of course you have Dimitri on the shield tank, but using the ball here, I'm wondering if the ball is going to be able to use his grapple and kind of swing around to the top of the theater and kind of interrupt them on the side of the bus there on the street.
Yeah, well, because Overkill can go in, Benevolence follows up, disrupt the back line, and completely destroy anything the Peachy's IC tries to throw at them. So it all just depends on if they're able to execute that correctly. Iggy tried to do a couple of quick paw shots on the Widowmaker, doesn't find anything, switches back over to Cassidy. We begin our slow march, just straight on the point. No fear. Look at that, Peachy's Iced Tea. They keep that shield up, force an Ice Block out of PK. That's okay. But Benevolence, once again, is just scary. That is disgusting. The support line is immediately taken out, and Overkill takes Ronan along with it. St. JJ pins Ronan or Overkill to the wall, but in the Peaches I see, they need to back out and regroup here.
Absolutely. And to credit to Peachy's IC, once they got onto the point with a sniper comp or a distance comp like this, you definitely want to challenge them to come at you. And they did a good job of going in through I believe it's the hotel there. It's been a long time since I've done my calls. But obviously it wasn't enough. And Benevolence really carried the load there and made sure that push amounted to nothing.
Yeah, it's just going up from behind. You gotta watch that backline out. You also force an immortality field from Lobster, but immediately take out the immortality field, then go right after Lobster when they're not paying attention. And look, that Mimikyu uses the speed boost, pushes them in to get across over into the hotel room and try to push the Regen NA Academy out of there. Overkill wants to go up and meet them, but gets booped down by Mimikyu's Lucio. Rolls here. PK tries to put up the wall to prevent anyone from coming up. But you see that right there. Overkill right in the back line. And Saint TX? I mean, come on. but Mimikyu putting in that work as Lucio. And the Immortality Field was so beautiful. The wall here, this could be the the Amplification Matrix. That could be the make or break. 2 picks are coming up strong for the Peachis IC. Iggy's gonna be making their way back soon, and the mines are in such an awkward position. Oh, huge Earth Shatter gets Flores. St. JJ goes down, but the Regen NA Academy lose so much healing from that loss. Both tanks, however, are out of here for the Peachis IC, and then just rolling right in for the Regen NA Academy, as Benevolence and Ryfrog are terrors of the town right now.
Absolutely, and I know the extreme frustration of that, finally having no choice but to try and Earth Shatter to save face, and just having nothing come from it, instantly get picked. That just rips your insides out. You almost want to just throw your keyboard out the window. There's a whole lot of pride when it comes to Reinhardt playing.
There really is, and now look at this though. The Peachis IC have 3 ultimates, and Regen have 3 to answer with here. It's back and forth because Flores can pop the Transcendence, Saint can use their rally to keep that momentum and keep that sustainability. Same thing for the Peachis IC though. Mimikyu does have their beat, so they have a little bit of options. Both teams have options, and PK and Iggy now have their ultimates up as well. So we'll see what they decide to go in with. Another miss wall opportunity though. That has to hurt.
Absolutely. And they just can't get anything done, even though it's just because wherever Benevolence goes, trouble is soon to follow.
Mimikyu wanted to play so dangerously there, skirting around on the outside, and Ryfrog immediately takes advantage of that. So Skater Boy, see you later, boy.
Absolutely. And like we first saw, just getting on this point is proving to be hell.
So the Gravitic Flux takes out Lobster, and that's a good first engagement. Flores pops Transcendence. Literally all of the ultimates are flying from Regen NA Academy, and like you blink, you miss it, the Peachis IC are gone.
Absolutely.
And they have 10 seconds left on the clock to get back on point.
And all credit to Benevolence, Ryfrog has been relatively quiet. But with that Bob ultimate there, definitely took 2 frags out of that equation very fast.
Wow. Can I just say, right at the end too, a Moira and a Lucio right back into point. Those are really hard targets to pick.
Yeah.
Weren't even able to make it.
Yeah,
they made it barely on there to bring it in overtime, but after that it was over.
Oh yeah, it was instantly dreams crushed, and that's the worst nightmare on a hybrid map. You think about, once we get to this phase, I'll switch to this character, and that never even happened. This a total nightmare of a scenario.
Yeah,
right now, by not even capturing the first point. This is largely diminishing any chances of this being a successful map for the Peachis right now.
And on top of that, to give them some credit, they were able to get to 50.3% on that one really good push where they pushed them out from the top. But I think it just collapsing whenever Overkill or Benevolence decides that they want to go through straight into the backline, because it just creates, I think, that sense of panic that they can't work against. And especially Benevolence, they are scary on that Tracer.
And speaking of panic, looking at Peachis' composition right here, with this having to be nearly a full hold you're going to have to do here, I definitely would have at least considered the possibility of a Mercy for the Resurrection.
Yeah, instead they elect to go the exact same thing that they did last time. Mimikyu is always good on that Lucio because you're able to have the speed boost, but just I think being a little bit more careful this time around would do a lot of good for them. Saint TX. Ooh, that was dipping dangerously low into some territories that you don't want to be in. And they are the object of choice. The region, look at that, they've kind of fanned out and spread around here. Meanwhile, the Peachis IC are clumped up together. They're finally starting to spread out, but the NA Academy have that high ground, and Ryfrog is going to be able to do so much damage with that.
It's a lot of scouting right now. They're just waiting for the right moment, and it's coming up right now.
Oh, the stun onto Overkill, who's just so much damage. Couldn't roll away, gets frozen, rolls right into the wall, not where they want to go. And Benevolence wins the fight out against Iggy. Look at that, though. Benevolence takes out 2, gets a 2K, and is putting in a lot of work here. And if the Regen NA Academy gets back fast enough, they've only really lost the ball. And look at that, they're already back. Meanwhile, Ryfrog on the high ground is laying down hell, just raining it from above.
Yeah, absolutely laying it down and being virtually uncontested as well.
Man, this is going to be it. The Regen NA Academy, no one to stop them, takes their second map. 55% was all they needed. Kings Row is now under their control.
Play of the game.
Yeah, and I feel like the caster's curse here. I talked about the first point so much, and I'm very sorry, but I feel for you. I definitely feel.
Yeah, look at that. This was when they were coming back onto point right here, and Frog, oh my goodness. Put that gun in their hands and it's all over.
Yeah, Benevolence did all the kind of did the gritty part, and then Frog was just back there, just keep popping that lever action rifle, and just keep refilling the chamber.
And that's exactly what they were doing. However, Behemoth, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Behemoth, we are 2 maps in so far. The GGNA Academy has proven that they are a whirlwind of destruction. The Peachis Iced Tea, though, they are not out of this just yet. They are putting everything they have into it. We're going to be moving on to our next map here in a second, which is going to be Junkertown.
One of my personal favorite maps, and as a older gamer, I hate to say that word because I'm almost 30. Usually don't like new stuff or new changes in my video game, but this one they definitely hit the sweet spot when it came to designing a map. I definitely feel
Junkertown has that. We were talking about it before we came back from the break about just how different and versatile this map can be, and how each different point has something unique and different to offer, whether it's the larger sight lines of the first point or the claustrophobic nature of the final push that you have to go in on.
and absolutely with the final point there, as a defender you feel absolutely helpless, because even if you try a stall comp, it's such wide open area once you get out there that you're just instantly just disintegrated, you feel like. So it definitely makes the case that you don't want to even have them remotely close to that location, especially with the threat of the stairs area at the big health pack. You don't want anything coming from that area at all, especially as a healer, which I'm a healer main, unfortunately for life. I want nothing to do with that final point.
Yeah, and you know, we just took a look at our amazing Peachis Iced Tea there. I think this map could favor them in a way, though, especially once we start getting towards that third checkpoint for them. The open-ended nature will, in my opinion, help Regen NA here, because they have the ball, they have the tracer that they can go around with, but Iggy has proven that they are still a DPS to be feared, and they've proven that, hey, you got to watch out for me. You got to remember that I still exist. And I think this is going to help them too, especially with the longer sight lines. And you know, you can see it right there in the second point on screen, just how well they can work around that.
I was definitely thinking the exact same thing, how Iggy likes to put their mouse over another player's head and make bad things happen very quickly. With Benevolence being such a prominent tracer player and a flanker player, I think this is going to be an interesting match, because I definitely think that they could be potentially neutralized here.
Yeah, overkill on the ball once again, but an interesting change here for the Peachis IC. St. JJ is also going to be rolling around on a ball. So I'm curious how that's going to work out for them, especially since looks like they're going to be the only one diving in that back line. Iggy and PK are going to be holding down that sniping support line here.
Yeah. And it's definitely just kind of a peekaboo, just to try to see what kind of comp we're going to be facing here. But of course, it's got to be sniper versus sniper to start off here.
Yeah,
just as a mutual agreement.
Yeah, look at that. Iggy's not taking any chances. Doesn't have his head sniped out. Yep, good call there.
Oh.
An immediate disruption. Pile driver in from St. JJ. They get Discord orbed. They're going to back out. Overkill. You played with fire. But they didn't get burned. They were able to get back out, and they take their Flintstones gummies and get back up to full health there. Benevolence flies up in the air, but no shots connect.
Yeah, and definitely they did the right thing and gave them a little bit of space, because the composition that the defense is running right now is definitely not something they could just dig in and defend.
Yeah. The two Widowmakers are wanting to try and find the right angles that they can take advantage of, but the two Sigmas are going to stall that out as poor Iggy gets dove in on immediately by Ryfrog, and that's a tracer diff, but Lobster was able to trade that out. Benevolence, though, all alone, no one stopping them in the backline right there. Look at that, and they're just gonna dance around St. JJ. And the healing, the support line is just too much for them, and St. JJ needs to back out. And look at that! Look how close they're able to get Benevolence. They really want it so bad. They're staying in that back line so long.
Yeah, it's definitely I just want the satisfaction so much, but I definitely got to get out of here.
An overkill rolls over Ronin out of here. So now Peachis IC is missing their primary tank. Oh, the shield keeps him safe though. A responding kind overkill is also going to be rolled over. Environmental death right there from St. JJ. So this is a chance for Regen NA Academy to take advantage of this. And you can see that, I'm sorry, Peachis IC to take advantage of this is the NA Academy backs away. The mines are committed from St. JJ and against St. X. And Lobster being that DPS and the one tap literally just walks right in and Benevolence finishes it off. That is scary right there.
Well, we're definitely finally opening up to the open area here instead of just a traditional little avenue right here. So this is definitely where the advantage shifts to the offense.
Absolutely, and the momentum is rolling for the Peachis IC. Is this gonna be a Lobster v Overkill battle? Overkill is respecting the DPS. Yada does not want to engage on that. Benevolence, with the help of Ryfrog, is going to eliminate Iggy. It was a body shot, and then finishing it up as Ryfrog is proving to be just as scary on the Tracer. And look at that flick of the wrist, baby. You couldn't. These are the kind of things that make you scared at night.
Absolutely, and we kind of had a little step back into season 1 when body shots were also king when it came to Widowmaker. So it kind of gave me a little bit of a chuckle just from the namesake, just a body shotting Widow. But definitely the Tracer contributed a lot to that kill, not just the body shot.
And we have 60 seconds left here for the Peachis IC to get that payload, and look how close it is. You need to get there. Information is on the board. Ooh, and Iggy wants that kill on Benevolence. Look at that. They are just so patient, and they're waiting. Benevolence, it's like they knew. It's like they knew when they looked over for just a split second. And of course, the same JJ, Ryfrog, overkill attack onto Iggy. It was just too much, but PK and Lobster are trading those out. They are now up 2, and Lobster is proving to be the difference maker here on the Zenyatta. Ryfrog needs to shut that down, commits the pulse bomb, but whiffs it so massively there as they continue to harass the backline. But PK and you jump off, you couldn't do anything. You're gonna regroup with the rest of the team. And Peachis IC manages to take this payload to the first checkpoint.
I was gonna say live to fight another day, but they were literally dying, so I decided against it. PK'd on this Hanzo. I definitely think that before Iggy switched off of the sniper, definitely have PK do some sort of flanking action. But nevertheless, we are in the streets. We are in the streets phase, and we'll see if Benevolence continues to stay on this Widow and get a few more key picks.
And now Iggy themselves is on the Tracer, so we could be seeing some similar situations. But look at PK and St. JJ are just getting chunked for every single last little bit of their health. And with St. JJ in that corner, they picked up the pack, but they couldn't get the healing necessary in order to survive. Lobster pops the Transcendence. Might be a little bit too late here, but they just literally use that to dive into the back line and eliminate Flora from the field. Dimitri, however, is able to just walk right on point, get PK'd, and Benevolence, they're not missing any shots onto Lobster.
Yeah,
GGNA Academy, they're feeling good right now. This is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, as a Zenyatta lover, we love our beautiful polished bald dome, and we don't want anything to happen to that. And unfortunately, Benevolence happened to that beautiful bald dome.
And you cannot understate just how well they're hitting these shots. And
Yeah,
it doesn't matter
absolutely.
whether they're playing Widowmaker, it doesn't matter if they're playing Tracer. They are scary. A literal whirlwind of bullets flying around all over the place. And the Peachis IC, I think they're starting to slowly recognize that, but they have 4 ultimates that they're going to be able to work with here on this team fight. An immediate engage, a stick right onto Mimikyu, but caught out. So both teams don't have their baguettes here. So this allows them to dive into the back line. And we saw Iggy with a desperate maneuver to try and remove Benevolence, but Flores keeping things safe. And it's the Zenyatas here that are putting in, once again, just the work over and over. The Zenyatas light up the kill feed so much. But finally, Lobster, the terror of the town, is taken out as Ryfrog jumps out, and Regen NA Academy regroups around themselves as and St. JJ is taking a bit of a roundabout approach to harass the backline here.
And it's definitely a better approach for the Peachies to come out through the stairwell on the side of these streets here, as opposed to the open area, trying to minimize any potential damage that Benevolence could do as long as the shields take heed and take hold.
And it was just massive damage right there. The Gravitic Flux eliminates Ronin almost immediately with Overkill pumping the weapons into it. And a nice accretion hit. We're in overtime, though. This is the last few seconds that the Peachis IC have to make something here. But Overkill is proving to live true to their name, getting one kill after another. The Gravitic Flux happens, but Flores uses the Transcendence. And at that point, it's a done and sealed deal. You are out of there. The Peachis IC do manage to get point A and 62.29 meters into point B. So the Regen GGNA Academy, they don't have that far to go, really.
Yeah, and definitely it's a proven from last map for the Peachis Ice Tea. It definitely had more success, of course, getting to the first point, getting into the streets phase. But some things might be needed to be desired, of course. When you have a sniper like that, and of course in general competitive play, you always have the pressure of what is our sniper doing for us, and at that point it was a sniper versus sniper for a zoning purpose to try and keep either Widowmaker out of just going ham, which was perfectly fine. However, I felt like the Peaches could have had a better flanking presence outside of Saint JJ on the Hammond. Like the chunk of ham on the Hammond there.
Yeah, I mean, they were the only one going in there and trying to disrupt the backline. And we have Iggy and PK on the Hanzo Widowmaker combo. Widowmaker is kind of already a tough pick, especially when you have the Sigma shield keeping them safe. So to not have anyone disrupt that backline except for Saint JJ, it makes it more difficult for them to commit a kill. And you saw it there too, just how much Saint JJ wanted to remove Benevolence from the map. But they couldn't do it, they couldn't seal the deal. And if they had the extra Tracer support there, it may have gone a little bit differently in that instance. They still were able to make it to the point, but they just couldn't go all the way. And unfortunately, a couple of misses with the zip line there.
And I definitely say I'm a little biased there because I'm a support player and I kind of see everything that goes on. But I'm going to say, yeah, I am biased, so I'm definitely going to have to be the one to say it.
Benevolence clicks ahead, gets a nice little headshot! They get two. Ronin removes the shield for just a split second, and that literally signed his death warrant. That is unfortunate for the Peachis IC. Ronin will be able to get back here in time to help contest. But Iggy responds in kind, and Benevolence is out of here. And that's going to be huge for the Peachis IC if they want to commit to this assault. However, Mimikyu being gone, it's trade for trade right now. These two teams are scrapping it out.
Yeah, and there's definitely going to be the need for some cybernetic implants for the sides of some of these heads with all the sniper action we got going on right now, right down in Junkertown.
Yeah, and Saint JJ is gone, so they really only have Ronin to hold the tank line. It's not too bad of an issue, but Overkill has eliminated PK'd, brought them to their knees, and the Peachies aren't even going to contest this payload here. This is the last little stretch of land that Regen needs to go here. And the Peachis IC, they need to put up this defense.
And there's
Else it is all over.
Then there's a lot of pressure right now from Regen GGNA to get out advanced into this so-called streets phase to create the space so they virtually could just walk right into this point and have this game over with.
Yeah, and they have 3 ultimates they can work with here. And an early pick onto PK, that's going to set the Regen GGNA Academy on this team fight here so well as the payload approaches. And the Peachis IC, they're waiting, they're trying to measure this approach. What it's going to have to be done now. And it needs to happen now. Lobster is going to use the Transcendence to contest as much as they can. But the rally was just the rally committed from both sides, Mimikyu and Saint TX. But Ronin was not inside of that Transcendence, and that's going to be deadly as the mines, the Gravitic Flux, everything is being popped here to try and either stall out this payload or push this payload forward. And it's too little too late for the Peachis IC as Regen GGNA Academy take not only Junkertown, but they take this series.
Yeah, absolutely. It all seemed way too easy once they finally got the doors open to what I call downtown Junkertown. It was just only a matter of time. You could just feel it. You just feel the hope just evaporate.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just, sometimes it was poor positioning, sometimes it was just questionable decisions on the side of the Peachis IC. It's just super unfortunate that that happened there. And we saw Ronan, they were on the Sigma, dipping so low into health, and literally right behind them was a Transcendence that could have kept them going that entire time. Still, though, we have to give it to the Peachis IC. They put up a really good defense. They just were so strong there, and Regen NA Academy proved to be just a little able to take it further.
Yeah, and you definitely feel like there's sort of a bystander effect when it comes to, other players on your team, like, oh, okay, well, this person's going to do this, or maybe they'll step up and do this. And then when the time comes, you're looking all around and say, oh, I got to pop this ultimate. I got to save face. We got to do something. And that's when the desperation kicks in. And I definitely feel the composition-wise that they had to say, look, we got to switch something up. And we had the same issue on Kings Row, the previous map, where we just kind of stuck with the same thing. And I don't know if that's any cadence to the hero pool that they have to work with, or maybe someone doesn't feel comfortable on a certain character, or what it is. But those times have to come where we have to actually get down to the bottom of it, saying, this isn't working. This is what we need to do. What can you do for us?
Yeah, and that's something that they can work on and figure out as time goes on. We're working. Then the Peachis IC, they're learning. But regardless, though, guys, I do want to go ahead and talk about the Peachis Season 3 that is coming up here very soon. Signups are open right now. You can go ahead and do that over on the Peachis Discord. They close June 12th. It's going to be 3 divisions with 16 teams per division. And if I'm doing my math correctly, I believe that is 48 teams in total. So that is going to be exciting. So make sure, guys, to go in, sign up for that, get in on that action.
Yeah, and I'm only a C student, so I'm going to trust your math here, but I'm definitely looking forward to more games this summer. What better way to spend the summer? Because it's going to be boiling hot out there. You want to be in the air conditioning or in a cooler climate and absolutely just clicking on heads and getting some sick frags. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you couldn't be more right, Behemoth. And guess what? These matches are going to be streamed Friday, Saturday, Sundays, all at 8:30 EDT. The production are currently arguing with each other about EDT, EST, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows the superior time zone, of course, is the Beast Coast, which is the East Coast. So we're definitely going to stick with that time frame. And you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of our faces this summer, definitely, for sure.
All right, and so we don't have any interview set up here for you guys tonight. That means we are going to go ahead and close it out here. Behemoth, it was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, who's your player of the game? Who would you have to pick if you had to pick?
I'd probably go Benevolence.
I would absolutely go Benevolence, without a doubt. Absolutely Benevolence.
I think a lot of the Regen NA Academy's success was based on the early picks that they were able to make in every single engagement. And the Peachis IC, and it was such high value picks as well. The Peachis IC, they could never figure out quite how to answer Benevolence. And I think at that point, it was just shut case and closed for me. That is absolutely 100% my MVP.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's just become what I call at work. I say, oh, what do I do about this? I say, be in the bonnet. And that's what Benevolence was tonight. A be in your bonnet. Just all the buzzing around, just irritating. You just can't do anything. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't focus on anything just because the pure presence of Benevolence was too much to overcome.
100%. But Behemoth, like I said, we are going to go ahead and call it a stream here. Everyone, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see all of you next time.